Every transatlantic voyage begins with a sense of isolation. For the MV Hadius, that fateful journey started here at a port in Argentina, setting a course straight for Europe. The vessel carried 150 passengers. Once on the open ocean, a cruise ship becomes a self-contained ecosystem, miles from the nearest hospital or support network. But mid-voyage, that isolation turned deadly. A sudden wave of severe respiratory distress struck multiple passengers at the same time. The medical crisis escalated rapidly. Before the onboard staff could stabilize the patients, 3 people died from the unknown ailment. The MV Hadius had quickly transformed into an inescapable steel container, with a completely invisible threat moving through the crowd. Modern health authorities operate in a state of constant alert. Any report of a cluster of mysterious respiratory deaths triggers immediate international protocols. As news of the deaths reached the mainland, global governments reacted with total caution. Fearing a highly contagious supervirus, they denied the ship permission to dock at any port. Information gaps on the internet were quickly filled with speculation. Online creators quickly amplified the panic, branding the trapped vessel a doomed ghost ship as it drifted without a destination. Back on the water, the 147 surviving passengers were effectively trapped. They were completely blocked from the outside world, waiting for a disease they couldn't identify to claim its next victim. The fear of a new outbreak created a total diplomatic vacuum. Faced with a highly potential infection, neighboring nations immediately prioritized the security of their own borders over a rescue mission. While the diplomatic standoff dominated the headlines, a precise medical investigation was unfolding inside the ship's quarantine zone. This microscopic view shows the clustered, spherical culprit. Laboratory results identified the infection as hantavirus, shifting the investigation away from the search for a new coronavirus. That diagnosis linked the danger back to the ship's point of origin. Hantavirus is endemic to South America, with known clusters throughout Argentina and Chile. The passengers were trapped with an environmental stowaway. The virus didn't board the ship as an infected traveler, but rather as a contaminant hidden within the ship itself. Epidemiologists call this zoonotic spillover, the moment an infectious disease jumps from an animal population directly into humans. This discovery changed the safety protocols on board. Hantavirus does not typically spread through the air via coughing, which meant the initial panic of a COVID-like human-to-human outbreak was misplaced. The transmission was environmental. Passengers inhaled aerosolized particles from infected rodent droppings hidden within the ship's infrastructure. These particles settled onto surfaces. The passenger would touch a contaminated handrail, unknowingly transferring the virus to their face. The danger was embedded in the walls, floors, and air ducts. For the passengers, every step and every surface carried a potential risk of infection. The physical infrastructure of the contaminated ship provided the mechanism for infection, making the very environment the primary danger. With the biological mechanics understood, the World Health Organization stepped in to mediate the international deadlock. The WHO issued a formal plea to the Spanish government, asking them to break the stalemate and provide a safe harbor for the survivors. Spain eventually agreed, allowing the ship to dock at a controlled, isolated location in the Canary Islands. The resolution required absolute precision. Remaining passengers were placed in land-based quarantine, while specialized crews began a rigorous chemical disinfection of every deck. Hard scientific data was the only thing capable of ending the standoff. Confirming the virus lacked high human-to-human contagion provided the evidence necessary to override the geopolitical panic. As the intake process began, health authorities conducted a final review of the ship's passenger manifest. They discovered a critical gap in the timeline. Before the lockdown was ever initiated, 23 passengers had already disembarked the ship. The current location and health status of those 23 individuals remain untracked. They had already dispersed into the global population before the alarm was raised. Because hantavirus rarely spreads between people, the statistical likelihood of these missing passengers sparking a new outbreak is low. The MV Hadius illustrates the speed at which global travel networks can disperse localized biological threats. It serves as a reminder of how quickly borders close when faced with an unknown